Fan Yang and his wife Yang Yang had 4 attorneys to defend them from charges of conspiracy to smuggle boats into China, lying to the federal government, and getting a gun for a Chinese national.
And News4Jax I-Team investigator Lindsay Gardner was there today. Lindsay, did we learn any new details about the crimes that they're accused of?
Well, Mary, we did. We learned the government is very concerned about the vast knowledge Lieutenant Yang has of our country's top weapons, their sensors, and how to find the submarines of our enemies. Adding, Lieutenant Yang's head is filled with some of this nation's top secrets. A stunning fall from the top for Lieutenant Fan Yang, seated in a jail jumpsuit instead of his naval flight suit. Yang, a U.S. citizen who has worked his way up to the top of the Navy ranks at NAS with a top security clearance, now has the NCIS and the Department of Justice worried about the knowledge our country has taught him. The government arguing in Mr. Yang's head he has the golden ticket, a bargaining chip. Adversaries would be able to get him and his family out and gain the intel he has. Lieutenant Yang's mother and stepfather drove down from New York but had nothing to say. Yang's wife, Yang, sat at the opposite end of the table, handcuffed. The government argued that it feels the Yangs underreported their assets to pretrial services. So far, the Department of Justice has found $109,000 in cash across 10 accounts plus investments. Substantial liquid money to help get them and their 2 young children out of the country. The government also focused on Fan Yang's pattern of deception, lying to the Navy and the ATF about his connection to a Chinese defense contractor, Ji Song-tao, a Chinese national who the U.S. government says was funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars to both Yangs through a fraudulent business account. What's more, the government said the Yangs lied about several rendezvous with Song-tao in Nebraska and here in Florida, lying at first saying it was just a friendship on social media. Dale Carson is one of 4 private attorneys representing the Yangs against the weight of the U.S. government.
Simply because they say it's true doesn't make it so.
Can you say at this point if Lieutenant Yang's loyalties are with the United States or with China?
He's a U.S. citizen. He's sworn allegiance to the United States as part of being a naturalized citizen. So I don't have any reason to question that at all. Now, the government's position may be different. You'd have to ask them.
Carson and his team tried to argue for ankle monitoring and the establishment of a third party, a relative, to live with the Yangs and make sure that they don't flee. But the judge in this case rejected that idea, finding that this case is unusual with multiple deceptions to several government agencies, coupled with Lieutenant Yang's knowledge. At the end, the risk was just too great. In the newsroom, Lindsay Gardner, Channel 4, the local station.